You don't know it yet. But these are the good days. Not someday far off when you've made more money, lost more weight, achieved more recognition. Not after the promotion. Not once you move. Not when everything finally makes sense. No, these days, the ones you're rushing through, the ones you're barely noticing, they'll be the ones you miss. You think life is just beginning? That you're building towards something greater? But one day, you'll look back and realize you were already in it. The life you thought was just preparation was actually the main event. You'll miss the messy, imperfect mornings, the way the sun filtered through your kitchen window while you rushed to get out the door. You'll miss the laughter in the background while someone cooked dinner. The quiet hum of people you love just existing nearby. You'll miss the noise, the interruptions, the chaos that annoyed you. You'll wish for just one more chance to live inside a day you didn't think mattered. We spend so much of our lives looking forward, planning, worrying, striving. We treat the present like it's just something we have to get through, a necessary in between before something better arrives. But the truth is, most of what we're waiting for never feels the way we expect. And by the time we realize what really mattered, it's memory. I used to think joy lived at the end of effort. That if I worked hard enough, if I proved myself enough, if I waited long enough, I'd finally arrive at happiness. But I kept arriving in moments that felt suspiciously ordinary, quiet, small, unremarkable. And eventually I realized, life doesn't climax in grand celebrations. It leaks through the cracks of normal days, in the way your child reaches for your hand, in the way someone smiles at you for no reason, in the way your dog greets you like you're the whole world. But we're too distracted to notice, too tired, too fixated on fixing everything, too convinced that the now is just a stepping stone to something real. We scroll past our lives. We multitask through our joy. We delay love. We cancel dinner. We reschedule connection. We postpone peace. And then we wonder why we feel empty. Let me tell you something from where I stand, at 83 years old. Nothing is guaranteed. Not the time, not the people, not your health, not even tomorrow. And one of the cruelest tricks time plays is that it only lets you understand this after it's too late to go back. You wake up one day and realize the people you love are older, that your kids don't live down the hall, that your parents no longer answer the phone, that your own reflection has changed. And you ache for what you thought would be easy to remember, the way things used to be. But memory is blurry. You don't remember most of what happened. You just remember how it felt. And the truth is, most of us won't remember what we bought or what we achieved. We'll remember moments that felt light, free, full of life. And most of those moments, they happened on regular days. Days we thought didn't matter. Days we were trying to rush through. If you're young, or even if you're not, I want to tell you this. Slow down. Not in some romantic, passive way, but in a conscious, deliberate way. Choose to be where you are. Pay attention. This version of your life, the one you keep thinking isn't quite right yet, it might be the one you miss the most when it's gone. Don't wait until later to appreciate what you have, because later doesn't always come. And even if it does, it may come dressed in silence, in absence, in longing. You don't have to do anything dramatic. You just have to notice. Notice the way your partner laughs at their own joke. Notice the way your friend always shows up. Notice how the air smells on your walk home. Notice the small rituals that make you feel safe. The coffee mug you always reach for, the song you hum without thinking, the way your dog settles next to you like you're the safest place in the world. These are not filler moments. These are not distractions. These are life. And someday, when your hands are older and your world has changed, you'll look back and wish you'd lived these moments more deeply. You'll miss them fiercely, and you'll wonder why you spent so much energy wishing them away. So hear this clearly. You're not in rehearsal. You're not on pause. You're not waiting for your real life to begin. This is it. Right here. This is the part you'll want back. And you still have it, for now. You won't realize what you had until it's gone. And no, that's not just some tired phrase people say after breakups or funerals. It's a brutal truth that sneaks up on you when you're not looking. One day, you'll hear a laugh. Not in real life, but in your memory. And you'll wish you had stopped what you were doing the last time you heard it. You'll wish you had looked up, listened longer, smiled wider. But you didn't, because you thought there would be more time, more chances, another visit, another call, another day. You postpone dinner because you're tired. You skip the phone call because it's been a long week. You ignore the text because you'll reply tomorrow. But tomorrow gets busy. Then it becomes next week. Then it becomes never. And the person? They get older. Their voice changes. Their rhythm shifts. One day, you realize they don't call like they used to. Or worse, they can't. And it's not just people. It's everything. Your body, your energy, your mornings, your weekends, your easy laughter. You won't realize the freedom you had when your knees didn't ache, when your back didn't hurt, when your sleep came easy and your calendar felt light. You won't realize that the version of you keep criticizing, the one you say isn't good enough yet, is the version you'll long to be again when time takes just a little more from you. Life doesn't announce when you're in the middle of something you'll miss. It doesn't give you a warning. It just moves. Quietly. Softly. And then all of a sudden, the moment is over. And you're left trying to replay it in your mind. But it's not the same. Memory fades. Texture disappears. You forget the sound of their voice exactly. You forget how warm that hug felt. You forget the color of the room, the way the light came in, the tiny details that made it beautiful, because you were too distracted to pay attention the first time. You spend your time thinking about how to make life better, bigger, more impressive. But you miss the way it's already beautiful. You miss the coffee that tasted just right. The silence that didn't need to be filled. The glance from someone who truly sees you. You miss the way your child wanted one more bedtime story. The way your friend laughed too hard at your joke. The way the rain hit your window that one quiet Sunday morning. Because you were too busy waiting for something else to begin. You think the special days will announce themselves, that the important moments will come with a spotlight. But they don't. They show up disguised as nothing special, as Wednesday, as chores, as routine, and then they're gone, and you're left holding the weight of everything you didn't notice. You won't get those back. You won't always have your parents' voices on the other end of the line. You won't always have a dog waiting by the door. You won't always have the sound of little feet running down the hall. the things you think are normal today. You'll ache for them when they're gone, and that ache won't go away. It will settle into your bones, not to punish you, but to remind you that time is precious, and it doesn't stop. The hardest part is that nothing actually changes in the moment it matters. There's no alarm bell, no flashing sign that says, "This is it, pay attention." It's just a regular afternoon, a regular hug, a regular dinner, until one day, it's the last one. And you never know which one is the last. So take fewer pictures and be in more of them. Stop trying to document the moment and start living it. Look at their face instead of your screen. Listen to the voice instead of recording it. Hug longer. Stay at the table. Say what you feel. Now, not later. The people you love are fading in ways you can't see. And so are you. That's not something to mourn. It's something to wake up for. You have today, but you won't forever. Happiness doesn't announce itself. It doesn't crash through your door with confetti and celebration. It doesn't show up dressed in the title you're chasing, the car you want, or the number in your bank account. It slips in quietly. It whispers. It hides in the small things. And if you're not paying attention, you'll walk right past it. You'll mistake its silence for absence. You'll think happiness is missing when it's actually waiting for you to slow down enough to notice. We're raised to believe that happiness lives somewhere out there. After the success, after the glow up, after we've fixed everything that's broken. We tell ourselves we'll be happy when? When we get the job, the house, the body, the approval, the relationship. But when comes, and then it goes. And you move the goalpost again and again. And one day, you realize you've spent your entire life sprinting toward a version of peace that was sitting quietly next to you the whole time. Joy is not dramatic. It's subtle. It's the smell of coffee in the morning. It's the way your favorite shirt fits just right. It's the sound of someone laughing in the room next to you. It's the moment you feel the wind on your face and remember, for just a second, that you're alive. That this is it. That no one needs anything from you in that moment. That you're enough, just as you are. But we miss it. We scroll through it. We rush past it, convinced we're late for something important. We think fulfillment is waiting in a different season, in a better version of ourselves, in a more impressive timeline. But what if it's already here? What if the reason we can't find happiness is because we keep stepping over it to chase something louder? There's a kind of sadness in chasing a future that never arrives. A deep exhaustion in treating joy like a reward instead of a right. You don't have to earn stillness. You don't have to prove yourself to deserve the moment you're in. You just have to be in it. That's harder than it sounds, because we've been trained to escape, to numb, to perform, to be anywhere but here. And so we get caught in the loop, always planning, always hoping, always fixing, always wanting, and rarely being, rarely noticing, rarely stopping long enough to feel the sunlight or listen to a voice without thinking about what to say next. You say you want peace, but you turn down the volume only when it's convenient. You say you want love, but you struggle to receive it when it's given without effort. You say you want meaning, but you skip the parts of life that are quiet and uneventful, thinking they don't count. But they do. That conversation you had over dishes, that walk with no destination, That glance across the room that made you feel seen? That's happiness. That's connection. That's the stuff you'll cry for when you're older. Not the raises, not the milestones, not the applause. The ordinary, the unnoticed. The small things that felt like nothing at the time and everything in retrospect. If you want to feel alive, stop looking for fireworks. Start looking for flickers. The flickers are where life happens. They're the moments that don't trend, that don't get shared, that don't impress strangers, but they build your life from the inside out. They ground you. They make you feel human, real, here. You don't need more to feel more. You need less noise, less pretending, less chasing, and more noticing. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just distracted. And distraction is the enemy of presence. And presence is where happiness lives. So give yourself permission to feel joy where you are, not where you think you're supposed to be. Don't wait until your life looks different to start enjoying it. Don't wait until it's Instagram worthy to be grateful. Don't wait until it's your birthday or vacation or the weekend. Let it happen on a Tuesday. Let it happen in sweatpants. Let it happen in the car or on the porch or while folding laundry. Happiness doesn't knock. It doesn't beg for your attention. It waits. Quietly, patiently, until you finally look up and realize it was always here. You were just too busy looking somewhere else. One day, you'll wish you had this day back. This exact one. The one you're barely enduring. The one you rolled your eyes at when the alarm went off. The one you labeled as boring, stressful, unremarkable. You'll wish for it with a kind of ache that doesn't leave. Not because it was perfect, not because it was easy, but because it was yours. Because it still had the people you love in it. Because it still held the chance to say things you've been holding in. Because it still gave you time and choice and breath. You don't see it now, but the life you're living, the one that feels like a mess, like a never-ending to-do list, like something you just have to get through. It's the one your future self will grieve. Not for its polish, but for its presence. The morning light in your bedroom. The dog that still waits at the door. The child who still wants your attention. The friend who still answers when you call. The body that still moves without pain. The chance to try again today. We think of time as something that will give, but time only takes. Slowly at first, so slowly you barely notice. Then, all at once. One day the house is quieter. The calls are fewer. The chair across the table is empty. And it hits you. This ordinary day you treated like background noise was a treasure you didn't even try to hold. The version of you right now, the one who's overwhelmed, or stuck, or quietly disappointed, you'll miss that person. You'll miss their hope, their strength, their youth, even if you didn't feel young. You'll look back and realize they were still in the middle of something beautiful. They still had options. They still had room to grow. They still had people to love and time to love them in. And the life that felt too small, it was enough. It was more than enough. But you rushed through it. You waited for something else. You thought real life would begin later, when things settled down, when money got better, when you finally figured yourself out. And all the while, you were living the life you'd one day give anything to relive. Regret isn't just about what you did wrong. Sometimes it's about what you never bothered to see. The look in someone's eyes when they were trying to connect with you. The moment you could have said, "I'm sorry," and healed something. The time your child asked you to play, but you were too tired. The 1,000 small invitations life gave you to be present, and you said, "Later." But later doesn't always come. Later becomes too late, faster than you think. You'll blink and realize it's been years since you had that conversation, since you walked through that door, since you laughed with that person, since you were truly yourself. You'll beg for this day, not because it was spectacular, but because it was real. Because it held the raw, beating heart of your actual life. And you were there. And you didn't know how rare that was. That's the thing no one tells you when you're young. How quickly the ordinary becomes the irreplaceable. How easily today becomes a ghost you can't touch. So pause. Pause and breathe. Look around. Feel the air. Say the thing. Hug the person. Notice the moment. It will never come again. Not like this. Not with this version of you. Not with this combination of people and light and laughter and quiet. One day, you'll wish you had this day back. But today, you still have it. We don't lose time. We trade it. Quietly. Unconsciously. Like it's infinite. Like there's always more. But there isn't. And by the time you realize what you gave up, it's already gone. You didn't lose the sunset. You traded it for a scroll. You didn't lose the evening with someone you love. You traded it for another late night at work. You didn't lose the laughter, the walk, the peace. You traded it for distraction, urgency, or the illusion of being productive. And no one tells you you're doing it until the cost shows up, years later, with no refund. Time doesn't slip through your fingers. You hand it over, every single day. And most of the time, you do it willingly. You silence your gut. You ignore your heart. You say yes when you want to say no. You fill your calendar with things that mean nothing while pushing aside the things that mean everything. And you tell yourself you have to. That this is just how life works. That rest can wait. That love will understand. That you'll call them tomorrow. But you don't. And one day, you can't. We've been taught to glorify the trade, to celebrate being busy, being booked, being important. But busy doesn't mean full. It just means full of noise, full of other people's expectations, full of shoulds and someday and almost. And one day you'll sit in the quiet. When the meetings are done and the inbox is finally empty, and you'll wonder why it still feels like something's missing. The truth is, you don't get to keep both. You don't get to chase everything and still have time for the things that matter. There is always a cost. The question is, are you aware of what you're spending? You don't just give up hours, you give up presence. You give up connection. You give up memory. Every time you check your phone instead of meeting someone's eyes. Every time you say, just 5 more minutes to your child who won't be 5 forever. Every time you say next weekend to a parent who's already lived most of their weekends. These are trades. And they add up. And here's what no one warns you about. Most of the time, you don't realize the value of what you gave away until it's out of reach. You think you're choosing productivity, but you're choosing absence. You think you're being responsible, but you're choosing disconnection. You think you're putting life on pause, but life doesn't pause. It keeps going, with or without your attention. You can always make more money. You can always fix a mistake. but you cannot get time back. Once a moment passes, it's gone. Not in theory, in reality. And if that scares you, good. It should. Because maybe it's time to stop being casual with something so sacred. Think about the last week of your life. How much of it did you spend the way you meant to? How much of it did you truly experience, not just survive? How many memories did you actually make? Not for others to see, but for you to feel? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to live every moment like it's your last. But you do need to start noticing the trades. Start asking, is this how I want to spend my time? Is this worth what it's costing me? Will I remember this? Will I be proud of this? Because the world won't ask for your permission to steal your time. It will just keep offering you endless ways to spend it until there's nothing left. So take it back. Take your hour. Take your dinner. Take your walk. Take your rest. Take your conversation. Trade your time for something that feeds your soul, not just your schedule. You are not powerless. You are not too late. You still have choices left. Choose better. Before you run out of things to choose, start noticing what you'll miss before it's gone. That's the secret most people only learn in reverse. After the goodbye, after the silence, after the old rhythm of life is replaced by a new one that doesn't quite fit. But by then, all you can do is wish. Wish you had looked a little longer, listened a little harder, stayed a little more awake to what was happening right in front of you. Everything changes. Slowly, then all at once. The laughter in the kitchen becomes echoes. The shoes by the door stop appearing. The text messages come less often. The morning coffee doesn't smell the same. Even the air in certain rooms shifts. You can't freeze it. You can't hold it. But you can notice it, now, while it's still yours. Presence isn't about slowing life down. It's about being awake to it while it's happening. Not tomorrow. Not when the to-do list is clear. Not after you've earned rest. Now. Because now is all you ever truly get. The people you love are changing. You are changing. Your world is evolving in ways you won't even realize until the familiar becomes the past. And once it does, no photo, no journal, no video will bring it back the way it was. We're so busy trying to improve everything that we forget to witness it. We want better jobs, better bodies, better routines, better relationships, and in the process, we step over the beauty of what already is. The way your partner hums in the kitchen, the way your kid mispronounces that one word, the way your friend always says, "I love you," at the end of every call, even when you're annoyed. These are the details that hold the soul of your life. Don't miss them. You won't always live in this house. You won't always drive this route. You won't always have this dog, this plant, this couch, this morning sun coming through this particular window. And yes, something new will come. But the grief of missing what you didn't realize you loved, that stays with you. The question is, will you carry that grief, or will you carry the memory of having truly lived it? Presence is not a feeling. It's a choice. It's choosing to look at the person in front of you instead of your screen. It's choosing to feel the water in the shower, the breeze on your skin, the comfort of your bed, the taste of your food. It's choosing to notice instead of rushing through. To say thank you even when no one is watching. To look up. To feel small in the best possible way. You won't remember most of your thoughts. You won't remember what stressed you out this Tuesday afternoon. You won't remember which errands were urgent. But you'll remember the way your child held your hand when they were still small enough to reach for it. You'll remember how your friend made you laugh so hard you cried. You'll remember that one time you stood in the doorway, watching someone you love without them knowing. And your chest hurt from how deeply you felt it all. This isn't a guilt trip. It's a wake-up call. Because you still have time. You still have the chance to say, I see this. I see you. I'm here for this, fully. You can't be present all the time. Life doesn't work that way. But you can be present on purpose. You can catch yourself drifting and return again and again. That's how the ordinary becomes sacred. You don't have to do more. You don't have to be more. You just have to pay attention to this moment, to this version of your life. It might not be perfect. It might not be what you planned. But one day, it will be gone. And whether you miss it with tears or remember it with peace, that depends on what you choose right now. So start noticing. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Before now becomes then. This is your life. Don't sleep through it. Not the next version, not the cleaned up one, not the version where everything makes sense and all the pieces fit and you finally feel ready. This one, the messy, unfinished, ordinary present. It's yours. It's happening now, with or without your permission. You can ignore it, resist it, wait for it to improve. Or you can live it, fully, wildly, gratefully, right as it is. You keep telling yourself real life starts later. When the kids are older, when work slows down, when you've figured yourself out. But later is a story. It's a mirage that keeps moving as you chase it. This is the moment. This is the season. This is the chapter you'll one day call back then. And you'll ache to return, not for the perfection, but for the aliveness you didn't realize was there. You are not in a waiting room. You are not preparing for something better. You are in it. This is it. And it's already good in ways you're too busy to see. The love that surrounds you, the routines that ground you, the moments of stillness that ask nothing from you except to be awake. You won't remember every day, but you'll remember how life felt in this era. And one day, you'll wish you had listened more, loved more, stopped more, that you hadn't hurried through everything beautiful just because it wasn't packaged in success or excitement, that you hadn't needed a crisis to wake you up. You don't need more time. You need to wake up to the time you already have, to the way the light pours into the room in the morning, to the voice on the phone that still says your name, to the arms that still reach for you when you walk in the door, to the fact that you're breathing, alive, capable of choosing presence in a world that begs you to stay distracted. This isn't about quitting your job or moving to a new city or changing everything overnight. It's about realizing that life is not what happens after you get it all together. It's what's happening now, while you figure it out, and it's too precious to sleepwalk through. So if there's someone you love, tell them. If there's a place you love, go there. If there's a feeling in your chest when you hear that song, don't push it away. Let it stay. Let it matter. You won't always have this version of your body, this moment in your story, this combination of people and places and quiet, sacred things that make this chapter what it is. You have today. You have breath in your lungs. You have the power to pause, to look up, to say, "This matters." Don't wait to live your life. Don't look back and realize you slept through it. This is your life. It's not perfect, but it's yours. And it's already enough if you choose to be awake for it.